And then eventually you became a made man for the Lucchese crime family.
Correct.
Okay, and that's a pretty big deal in that life.
It's a very big deal in that life.
Was that something you wanted to do?
I would probably have to say yes. Obviously, I did it. At that point in my life, it was considered to be one of the highest honors. If if you were involved in the street, it was that's what it meant to me back then.
Okay, and the Lucchese crime family has a very interesting history.
Yes.
It's one of the 5 families, from New York City. I guess it originated back in the 1920s with Gaetano Reina was the first boss.
Well, I think I believe it was Tommy Lucchese. I'm not 100% sure, but I could be.
Yeah, I mean, according to what I found, Gaetano Reina, and I may be messing up his name, so I apologize to whoever gets offended at this. He was originally the boss. He got murdered in 1930. It was taken over by Tommy Gagliano, which, he was reigning until he died in 1951. Later on, the next boss was Tommy Lucchese, who served as the underboss for 20 years,
Yes.
Gagliano. And I guess Lucchese teamed up with Carlo Gambino.
True, yeah.
And they became a big powerhouse. Lucchese died in 1967. And then I guess Carmine Tramunti took over.
Correct.
He was arrested in 1973. And then Anthony Corallo,
Tony Ducks.
he took over.
Yes. So what you were just speaking about is pre-Tommy Lucchese. And then when they formed what is now known as the 5 families of, New York Cosa Nostra, it becomes the Lucchese family after Tommy Lucchese. So yeah, you were talking pre-Lucchese, really. But that's the history behind it. You're correct. I didn't know too much about prior to him, but I know a little bit. And then after that, you have Tony Ducks, which was the boss.
Right, because originally Lucchese was a peaceful family, but then when Victor Amuso took over, it turned into a bloodbath.
Correct.
I guess there was a Windows case in '86 where it was just a bunch of murders started happening. I guess Casso was rumored to have killed between 30 and 40 people and ordered over 100 murders.
It's definitely believable. Yep.
Casso was sentenced to 455 years in prison. Amuso was sentenced to life in prison.
Correct.
One of the underbosses, the acting boss, Alphonse D'Arco, became the first boss to actually testify against the mob.
Correct.
And then the entire Lucchese family got arrested after that.
Yes.
And I guess although Victor Amuso got life in prison, he was still considered the boss of the family.
And to present day, yes.
To present day. So you walk into this situation with Amuso being the boss from prison.
Correct.
And even though primarily Lucchese was a Brooklyn crew, they set up shop in Staten Island.
No, it was you're speaking of the Brooklyn faction of the family.
Yeah.
Yes, we were based out of Staten Island, but considered the Brooklyn faction. Yep.
And that's where you come in. You were basically in Staten Island.
I was part of the Brooklyn faction.